All iPhone enthusiasts should fall in here. Welcome to today's video, guys. It promised to be yet another exciting episode, so grab that popcorn and sit back for what we know so far about Apple's upcoming 2022 iPhone 13. Apple's iPhone 13 range is ahead of schedule, with a much earlier release set to surprise and delight iPhone fans. And now, exclusive new leaks have revealed a lot more about Apple's exciting new smartphones. So let's get into it. Apple is famously secretive when it comes to tech announcements, but by going by latest rumors, Apple's iPhone 13 launch date will be September 2021. The next-gen iPhone is expected to bring a host of upgrades, including a super-fast 5G modem, ultra-wide 48-megapixel camera, and Apple's first-ever 120Hz display. The very first iPhone 13 rumors sprung up long before Apple CEO Tim Cook had unveiled the iPhone 12 back in 2020. As it stands, there's speculation Apple could bring back Touch ID. We've even seen what appears to be an iPhone 13 Pro Max dummy unit and heard talk of an 8-inch foldable iPhone, although that's more likely to arrive along with the 2022-2023 iPhone 14. So when will iPhone 13 be released? How many cameras will it have? Will Apple bundle the new iPhone with an upcoming AirPods 3 wireless earbuds? And will it support Apple Music lossless? All valid questions. Relax and prepare for an exciting first look at the rumored iPhone 13 specs, features, and pricing. After a considerable number of changes to design and features in the iPhone 12, the iPhone 13 will likely remain relatively the same. Upgrades tend to occur on a tick-tick-tock schedule for the iPhone, so expect this to be a minor upgrade year focused on specs and stability. Apple released 4 models in the 2020 iPhone lineup, and analysts expect the same for the 2021-2022 lineup. Despite the iPhone 12 mini being the least popular model, an updated version will be released as the iPhone 13 mini in the fall. The iPhone 12 returned to flat sides with a new design, which means the iPhone 13 will likely not change much year over year. The longer a design can be reused, the wider the margins Apple can make on iPhone sales. The most noticeable physical changes to the device could be the camera bump and notch. The camera bump is expected to change from separate bumps for each lens to a single sheet of glass covering all lenses. This would reduce wobble when laying the device flat on its back. The notch is expected to be reduced or eliminated. One portion of the sensor array that could be reduced is the VCSEL chip used for blasting infrared dots used in 3D scanning. Apple may reduce this component by as much as 50%, allowing for a smaller notch. Apple has been investigating methods to hide certain elements of the Face ID True Depth system behind the display. Some Android manufacturers have managed to hide selfie cameras behind the display, but the True Depth system is much more complex. Apple may be able to hide the selfie camera and a few other sensors in the iPhone 13 by placing them under the display or raising them into the bezel. Either possibility would yield a smaller notch. It is doubtful the notch will be eliminated anytime soon. New colors could be introduced for the iPhone 13. The colors currently offered are white, black, blue, green, and product red. Apple usually replaces one of the unique colors with another to boost sales for the model. The rumored colors include bronze for the Pro models and matte black for all models. Apple had a jet black color for the iPhone 7, but it was prone to scuffs and scratches. Apple may implement various design changes to improve durability and water resistance as well. The iPhone 12 lineup has an IP68 rating, which allows submersion for up to 6 meters for 30 minutes. Apple doesn't intend its devices to be used underwater and will not cover water damage under warranty. If Apple is able to increase water resistance reasonably, the iPhone 13 may be the first model with Apple's blessing for underwater photography. Capacitive buttons, eSIM, and no lightning port would enable a fully closed-off device. The stainless steel rim that encases the iPhone 12 Pro attracts a lot of fingerprints. Apple may implement a new coating to prevent this from happening. Another guess is that the camera bump will change the thickness in all models, making the camera lenses protrude less overall. This goes against the rumor that all rear cameras will be housed behind a single sheet of glass. As with the body design changes, a camera change usually occurs on a longer cycle. The iPhone 12 Pro has a similar 3-camera system as the iPhone 11 Pro, but with an additional sensor for LiDAR. This camera design is said to be carried over to the 2021 Pro iPhone lineup as well. The 2021-2022 iPhone would likely have a 4-camera system plus LiDAR, even though all dummy models and leaked schematics show a 3-camera array with much larger lenses than the current generation. Many case manufacturers get dimensions sent to them early to start production on cases, but these numbers can't always be relied upon as accurate. A leak says that the ultra-wide cameras will be improved in the 2021 iPhone with an f1.8 aperture and a 6p lens. The current ultra-wide lens is f2.4 and 5p, so the improvement will greatly improve low-light photos. A later leak suggests an f1.5 aperture and 7p wide lens on the iPhone 13 Pro Max model. The improved aperture would bring in more light during low light shots. Some sources say that LiDAR may come to all future iPhone models rather than being reserved for the pros. This aligns with Apple's push to make AR experiences better for all users. Apple could expand Pro RAW to the entire iPhone 13 lineup due to changes in the image signal processor. It is unknown why Apple restricted the feature to the iPhone 12 Pro models, but it may have something to do with the difference in RAM. The standard iPhone models have 4GB of RAM, and the Pro models have 6GB of RAM. An Apple Pro RAW file is the combination of computational photography and a DNG file for the maximum amount of data the sensor can provide. Taking a Pro RAW photo is such an intensive process that live photos become disabled, so RAM may be a limitation. Apple could improve the ISP in the iPhone 13 or add additional RAM to the standard models. The front-facing camera may not see any drastic changes in the iPhone 13. Users can expect similar specs and maybe a wider selfie angle than what is present in the current models. Slow motion selfies were introduced previously as a standout feature of the camera, so expect something similar. New Memoji and Animoji options are not out of the question either. The iPhone could gain a Pro Motion display in 2022 to optimize viewing content, but may necessitate the use of the LTPO technology to keep the battery life under control. Samsung has used similar techniques to push its display refresh rate up to 120Hz as well. It is claimed that Apple wants both Pro models to have 120Hz refresh rates, but they must be variable to prevent inadvertent battery drain. This could be accomplished by using LTPO backplanes, which is what the Apple Watch uses to remain always on by slowing the screen to as little as 1 Hz. iPhone 13 still seems the most likely branding, but Apple's engineers have reportedly been referring to the device internally as the iPhone 12s. If that turns out to be the name of the late 2021 or early 2022 iPhone, and bear in mind that Apple could be spreading misinformation to mislead rivals or flush out leakers. From 2009 to 2015, the company followed a TikTok strategy with its phone releases, alternating between major, full number updates in even years, iPhone 4, 5, 6, and minor S-designated updates, 4S, 5S, 6S, in the odd years. But this had the obvious effect of discouraging people from updating in the S years because Apple appeared to be admitting that not much had changed. The iPhone 6S was the last of that sequence, and the 3 generations afterwards were tagged with a full number bump. Indeed, one of them, the legitimately radical iPhone X update, leaped forward 2 numbers in one go. We thought the S strategy was dead and buried. But it rose again in 2018 when Apple launched the XS and the XS Max, and following 2 consecutive full number updates, 11 and 12, it sounds like it may appear again in 2021. The S may now be an every 3rd year strategy, a sort of tick-tick-tock. Equally, Apple might just be worried about the number 13's unlucky associations in some countries, and on that basis, plans to skip the iPhone 12s or 13 to 14 in 2022. Of course, that doesn't explain why it would bother with the 12s this year, which makes the update sound less prominent, rather than skipping to the iPhone 14 right away. Similar concerns, incidentally, might also explain the jump from iPhone 8 to iPhone X. In Japan, the number 9 is considered unlucky because it can sound like the word for agony. The iPhone 12 lineup has 5G in sub 6 GHz and millimeter wave bands. According to Apple, millimeter wave is only available in the US on the iPhone, but that could change in the future models. As 5G becomes more ubiquitous, Apple will want people who travel to have access to the same speeds they find at home, so a global expansion of 5G millimeter wave support is natural. 5G in ideal conditions can offer up to 3.5 GB per second download speeds. Apple is reportedly working on its cellular modems, which means future iPhones may drop Qualcomm as a modem provider. This stems from Apple's acquisition of Intel's 5G modem platform and will lead to Apple bringing yet another part of its device in-house. Reports suggest Apple won't release a custom modem until 2022, so Qualcomm will supply the iPhone 13 in the fall. The fingerprint sensor was replaced with Face ID on the iPhone X, and this caused a shift in the entire smartphone market. Some manufacturers moved to face recognition, while others moved to place the fingerprint sensor below the display. Apple has been rumored almost every year since the iPhone X to be resurrecting Touch ID in the iPhone through some kind of underscreen or power button implementation. The latest rumors point to both being used in some regard in the 2021 iPhones. Apple embedded Touch ID into the iPad Air 4 top button, and some expect expect they could do the same in future iPhones. Having both Face ID and Touch ID in a device could open up better security use cases or allow users wearing a mask to unlock their iPhone easily and securely. Apple will likely release 4 distinct models of the iPhone 13, identically priced to the iPhone 12 counterparts. Reports suggest that demand for the iPhone 12 mini may lead to Apple de-emphasizing the product, but an iPhone 13 mini is still expected. Apple may give users different choices over storage options. Currently, there are 3 options in the non-Pro lineup at 64GB, 128GB, and 256GB. The 128 option is $50 more expensive than the 64GB option, and the 256GB option is $100 more expensive than that. Apple could push the baseline to 128GB and offer 256GB and 512GB options above that. The Pro models may get 1TB option for even more money, likely a $200 premium. There you have it all, guys. Let me know what you think of the iPhone 13 review in the comments section. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and yes, turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever we release a new video.